Greetings, wellies, and how you guys doing today? Today we're going to look at a really sticky issue. We probably all have heard that the Bible says that Jesus was born of the Virgin Mary. You might have said that during the Apostles' Creed, reciting the Apostles' Creed or the Nicene Creed or whatever, and that sort of kind of drilled into our thinking and the idea that Jesus is both true God and true man. That's something which I have no problem believing, because if God can create this incredible universe around me, he can certainly bring forth a baby from a woman without a human man's help. That is not one of those things that would make me believe in God or not. Whether or not he could do that, that is irrelevant. And I think that, yeah, of course God could do that. And the people who wrote the New Testament believed that. And they looked in the Old Testament for a prophecy of that. And they found it in Isaiah 7, verse 14, where it says, "A virgin shall conceive." Now, here's the problem. The people who were writing the New Testament were writing in what language? In Greek. So basically, they were the most comfortable with the Old Testament in Greek, which was called the Septuagint, which uses the word parthenos, which means virgin. No question there. The challenge is that's translated from the Hebrew alma, which means young woman, maiden, but kind of means virgin too. The truth is, we modern people think of people getting married younger. And the human body is basically designed to start having babies in your teenage years when you're still healthy and strong enough to raise them and live long enough to see them launched. And in most cultures, traditional cultures, people started getting married at the point at which they could have children. This is still, when I was younger, people in rural areas of the Midwest and other places were still getting married awfully young. That's changing. We often think, oh my goodness, 25, 30, 35 or older would be a good age to get married, but that's not typical. And most people who were young women without children were virgins, because the minute they could have children, they started having children, and there was no birth control. So Parthenos is actually a fairly good translation of the word Alma. It's probably the best translation they could have come up with. And the folks writing the New Testament believed that Jesus was descended of a virgin, the Virgin Mary, and therefore saw the word Parthenos in Greek and didn't bother to look at the Hebrew and said, this is just a sort of illustration of what we're trying to talk about with Jesus. Our faith does not rise or fall on whether or not they got the translation right. And they kind of did, really, because Alma and Parthenos are fairly interchangeable given the young marriages of the time. But I think it's really important not to look at little details of the faith and have our faith rise or fall or stand based on whether or not little details like this in the Bible are seamless, which they aren't. The Bible is a messy book. It was written by many people over many, many centuries, and there's all kinds of complexity in it. The cool thing about the Bible is that everybody who was writing the Bible was conscious of the whole rest of the Bible that had been written before them and were writing with the whole Bible in mind. And so the writers of the New Testament were writing with Isaiah 7:14 in mind and seeing Jesus all over it. So that's the good news for today, that the Bible is a wonderful book, that there's all kinds of good stuff in there, that we don't have to get hung up on little translation issues. And the truth is, the controversy over Alma versus Parthenos is way overblown, because people back in those days got married about the same time they could start having kids. Blessings on you, and have a wonderful day. That's the good news for today, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.